Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Northumbrian podcast, episode 8. Will universal basic income set us free? Let me start today's video by asking, what would you do with unlimited free time? If all your financial needs were taken care of and every hour of the day belonged to you, what would you do with that free time? Would you take up a hobby? Pursue a creative dream like art or music? Maybe go back into education? Perhaps you'd spend more time with family, or maybe volunteer for a charity. Or maybe you would just spend every day on the couch watching Netflix. Everyone has their own idea of how to spend their free time. Nearly everyone, apart from the unemployed, laments their lack of free time. They say things like, if only I had more time, I could do this or I could do that. And what is it that stops us from having more free time? Quite simply, as we all know, it's work. Or more specifically, the need for money, which requires us to go to work. Economics 101. If we want to avoid starvation and homelessness, we have to earn a living. Now, for most people, work means 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, cooped up in an office, a factory, or a call centre, performing some mind-numbing drudgery. Most people don't really enjoy their jobs. Of course, there are exceptions, but the vast majority of people I speak to don't really enjoy their job. Maybe it's because they don't find the work fulfilling or meaningful. Maybe they're underpaid. Maybe they don't get on with their boss or their co-workers. Maybe they hate the customers. So that begs the question, what if you didn't have to work just to survive? What if your basic financial needs were taken care of? The anxiety of poverty would probably disappear. You could spend your time doing something that you deem to be worthwhile rather than some meaningless corporate nonsense. That's the idea behind Universal Basic Income, or UBI for short. UBI is basically a system where every adult citizen is guaranteed an income paid by the government. So even if you just sat there doing nothing all day, a fixed amount of money gets paid into your bank account every month. It's actually been trialled and implemented in countries around the world with varying results. There are many examples of UBI trials online conducted all over the world. Feel free to just Google UBI trials and there's a big list of them. I won't go into it on this podcast. So now that we've taken a brief look at what UBI is, how is universal basic income going to set us free? Well, first of all, it would reduce our dependence on a 9-to-5 job for survival. If we didn't have to spend every day in the office, we could spend our time actually doing something worthwhile. We could pursue our dreams, whether it's maybe learning the guitar or getting a business degree or whatever you wanted. Some might say, well, it's all well and good letting people spend their days having fun or doing self-improvement, but how does that benefit society in the same way as them working a job? Well, look at it this way. What if a talented inventor who previously had to work in a factory uses their newfound free time to invent a machine that changes the world? Or what if the safety net of UBI gives a young entrepreneur the confidence to start a business which grows into a multi-billion-dollar company that ends up making amazing new products and employs thousands of people? The musician who used to work in a call center might end up writing the next greatest song ever written. And on a much smaller scale, think how much it would benefit children to spend more time with their parents. People could spend their time volunteering with animals or elderly people. So let's look at what sparked the idea of universal basic income. It's not a new idea, it's been around for a long time. But generally, apart from the idea that people love free money, the main reason is automation. If you've taken a trip to a supermarket or a grocery store recently, you've probably noticed there's less workers, less staff than there used to be. Many stores operate self-service registers now, so instead of a human being bagging your groceries and your shopping, you have to scan them through a machine yourself now. There's almost no verbal engagement apart from when the machine yells at you for putting an unknown item in the bagging area. These self-service registers are just part of a larger trend, whether it's in grocery stores or factories. The fact is, machines are replacing human beings in the workforce at a massive scale. So what happens when at some point in the future almost all of the jobs are done by robots? Do all the redundant humans just go out on the streets and starve to death? Or do we reap the benefits of technology in abundance and pay all our citizens a fair income? Years ago, the work that people did had a tangible benefit. The farmer grew the crops that fed the village. The blacksmith made the weapons that defended the village. The thatcher made the roof. The tailor made everyone's clothes, and so on. People's work was tied to a tangible result. But now, in 2020, people are quite disconnected from their labour. You have people doing jobs that seem to have no material purpose, like sales and marketing and things like that. I mean, do we really need to employ armies of people for 8-10 hours a day selling one identical product over another identical product? Wouldn't it make more rational sense for them to spend their time doing something practical, useful, or helpful? Universal basic income actually has quite a lot of prestigious celebrity support. Just a few of those supporters include Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Joe Rogan, and of course the American presidential hopeful Andrew Yang. Shout out to the Yang Gang. The fact that so many wealthy, influential people support UBI speaks volumes about its potential effectiveness. However, there are several critiques of UBI. The main question that skeptics ask is, who is going to pay for all this? To be honest, there's no one single answer. Every nation and every economy is different, so they would introduce and fund UBI in their own way. In Western countries like the USA and Western Europe and Britain, it's generally proposed that the existing welfare system would be streamlined or even just eliminated altogether and replaced with a simple, straightforward monthly dividend paid into every adult citizen's bank account automatically, like a direct debit. It's been claimed by some economists that this would actually be cheaper than the current welfare system because it would cut down on the bureaucracy, the staff costs, all the red tape, all the various government departments. They could all be shut down, and which would save a lot of money. It would also be easier on people like disabled welfare claimants themselves, who at the moment they have to navigate an increasingly difficult labyrinth of government departments and welfare benefits, whereas universal basic income would just flow into their bank account each month without any need for complicated applications or humiliating disability assessments. The other income source would obviously be increased taxes. Again, this would vary depending on the country, but it's generally argued that the increased taxes should be paid for by corporations. After all, corporations are the ones generally held responsible for increasing automation in the first place. Another critique of UBI is that it would turn people lazy, that people would spend their time lazing around on the couch, or they'd spend their UBI money on alcohol or drugs. Yes, of course, some people would spend their UBI on booze and spend their days drinking and doing God knows what else, but people do that anyway under the current system. People with jobs spend their money on drugs and drink. They just have brief intervals of sobriety in between while they're at work. The vast majority of people have ambition, drive, and energy. They want to spend their free time doing something productive, worthwhile, and meaningful. It's part of human nature, this search for meaning. There are legions of people out there with hidden potential, whether it's an unwritten book, an undiscovered periodic element, an uninvented invention, maybe a business just waiting to get off the ground. The only thing holding them back is the slavery of the current system. Universal basic income will set them and their ideas free. So in summary, I think there are a lot of challenges that need to be worked through before UBI can be rolled out effectively. It's going to mean a radical overhaul of the current system and a big shift in public consciousness. But I think that universal basic income is the most logical economic system for a future civilized society. And maybe someday work really will be just another 4-letter word. Well, thank you very much for listening. If there's anything I missed or any thoughts you would like to add, please let me know in the comments. All opinions welcome. I hope you enjoyed this little ramble of mine. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. My PayPal is in the link below, so if you want to throw me a few pennies, I'd be very grateful. I will return with another podcast very soon, so until next time, goodbye.